Welcome to the Arsenal show. We are live. I'm joined by Steve K. How you doing, Steve?
How you doing, mate? Yep, good. Yourself, mate?
I'm all right. Have you calmed down since the weekend's result?
I do, and then I see something that makes me get more irate again, and then I talk to someone and I calm down, and then I see something that gets me more irate again. So my blood pressure's been going up and down for the last few days. So yeah.
Oh, it's not going to go down now, mate. It's definitely not.
It's on, isn't it? It's on.
1980 song singer Yaz said the only way is up when it comes to Steve's blood pressure today. But hopefully it could be like a therapy.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
After these results. However, what I will say is last season we came out the Etihad Stadium like we'd won a game after the draw because it felt like such a big result. Felt like a step forward in terms of not just taking it or standing toe to toe with like the best team in the league. We see this do it against the likes of Chelsea, Manchester United now on a consistent basis, and last season we saw us beat Liverpool as well, and we're unlucky not to get the double over them. But we got the win over Manchester City at home and the draw at the Etihad Stadium, and we came out and we were ridiculed for over celebrating the draw. We were happy about the way we'd move forward, and we usually go to Manchester City and get absolutely torn to bits. This time it felt different. It felt different. It felt like a draw.
Yeah,
it didn't feel like a loss. It felt like a draw. But Arsenal with 10 men, and since then there's been a lot of people that have had a lot to say. I'd say it's very mixed. It feels like a lot of the pundits are giving Arsenal praise for their defending and how they managed to stand strong with 10 men. However, a lot of fans out there are mocking Arsenal for their Spanish police, as they like to say, defending 9 behind the ball. But we go back to the game, Steve. Should Arsenal have gone for it more with 10 men at 2-1 up with 45 minutes of the game to play? Did they have any options but to sit in and soak up the pressure?
We could have. Look, we could have. In hindsight, at the end of the game, I think you look at it in reflection, and I think you think that we could have gone for it. Yeah. And I think if you had Mikel Arteta here, and you would have asked him the exact same question that you've just asked me, he would have said the exact same thing as I've just said to you. He would have said, yeah, okay, on reflection, once the game's over, we could have gone for it. But I do think that with, 2-1 up, you're winning at the Etihad, you've gone down to 10 men. I don't think you've got any other option but to come out and play that way in the second half.
Yeah.
But I'm sure once the second half was going on and it was, the game was sort of panning out the way it was. I'm sure Arteta's mind was on that. I'm sure he would have been thinking, shall I bring Sterling on? Should we push that a little bit further? I'm sure his mind was going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. He's too good a manager for him not to think that. Arsenal genuinely are a type of team who will attack anybody. It's just certain teams when we play certain ways, mostly away from home, that will play differently. So yes, to answer your question, I'm sure we could have, but at the end of the day, I think we did the right thing, and because of how close we got, I think on reflection, we did that. We did do the right thing because in the end, yes, we didn't get there in the end, but God, we was close.
We see a lot of ridicule for Arsenal for parking the bus, though. We've seen Liverpool went down to 10 men. against Manchester City. I think it was last season, ended up losing the game 4 or 5-0. Do you think this is just people finding a reason to banter Arsenal, or do you legitimately feel like they are saying we should have taken it to City with 10 men?
I mean, watch football a long while, mate. We've played, both of us, I know for a fact, we've both played at decent level. So, you know, I think it's banter. I think it's got to be banter. If it's not banter and it's just, you know, people trying to wind up, I just don't know what you're on about. You don't, you know, you can't know too much about football. And there's plenty of them out there who really haven't got an idea of how to play a game. It's like what I said. I think it's pretty much. Well, I think I think I personally nailed it on the head there. The fact that, you know, I'm sure that we could have gone for it, and I'm sure that we could have attacked, and I'm sure it was in Arteta's head. So, and anybody who can't see that in reflection, I think, you know, I think they've analysed the game wrong, and I do think that. I just think the narrative's just so much towards what Arsenal should have done, and possibly what Arsenal did wrong. And look, let's face it, right? What the narrative should be is the fact that Manchester City, you know, you was lucky.
Mm-hmm.
You were lucky, right? You were lucky to get a point against 10 men. Right, and what's triggered me is that there's not been enough about that, because that should be 90% the talk of what all the radio stations have been doing, all the rival fans have been doing, but because they just can't bear the fact that it's Arsenal, they try and find a negative. Right. Why hasn't? Let's face it. Apart from the first. I mean, I might be wrong. You tell me if you don't agree. But apart from the first 20 minutes of that game, Manchester City was shit. Right? And I'll go that far. Right? The game started for 20 minutes. They were really good. Really good. They took the game for Arsenal. No, look, shit's a bit too far, right? Shit's a bit too far, right? Probably the old emotions are starting to come out now because of all the crap I've been hearing over the last few days, right? Yeah. So I take that back, right? But in the first 20 minutes, they were good, right? Yeah. They come at us as playing football. You know, we had our backs against the wall, you know, and they got a goal, and it went 1-0 up. Brilliant. City were brilliant then, right? Fantastic. After that, they did absolutely nothing. Nothing in the whole game. Nothing at home. Right? As soon as they got their first goal, right, we started to play football. There's been no talk about that. There's been no talk about that after their first goal, that Arsenal started passing it around. Arsenal started creating chances. We could have scored a goal or two. Do you know, Gabriel could have scored. You know, we should have scored with an header before the Calafiori thing. I mean, Trossard had a chance. Martinelli had a chance. There's been no talk of this. Apart from that Haaland goal, I can't remember really. Raya made a couple of saves, which, you know, in hindsight, he really should have made. But Man City, you know, you did nothing. And the second half, I hope there's some Man City fans watching. Right, I really do hope there's some Man City watching. If there are Arsenal fans that are watching, just clip it and put it on every Man City site you like, right? Manchester City, you should be ashamed of yourselves, right? The way you played in that second half. Not Arsenal for defending. Right? You should be ashamed of yourself because you was pants. There's not every single one of them so-called superstars who have been absolutely fantastic this season were useless. Haaland did nothing the whole of the second half. Bernardo Silva, what was you doing apart from crying all day and moaning at the end of the game? Nothing. Walker, he's finished. Just go to Saudi Arabia, mate. You're done, right? And I've heard this all the last 2 days. I've heard this before the match. Oh, the great City, they're this, they're that, they're that, they're this. They beat Chelsea first game of the season. What was that? Do you know what I mean? We all know what can happen first game of the season. Since then, well, I don't get it. And now they've come up against someone decent. Said it last week. Come up against someone decent, see what happens. We'll see what happens. But they come up against someone decent, and they was absolutely useless against a team that was with 10 men. And we'll go on to the other bits after. But yeah, I just why haven't they been scrutinised for how rubbish they've been? Because they haven't.
Do you think there's more frustration with the fact that they couldn't get the goal against 10 men than there is actually a problem with the way that Arsenal played and the negative football which people were saying that they played? Do you think that City are more frustrated with the fact they couldn't break us down?
Yeah, well, they haven't been able to break us down in 4 games, mate.
Well, they scored 2 past us.
Yeah, look, they scored 2 goals. They scored a goal in the first 20 minutes, right? And I've told people, look, Arsenal a different animal these days, right? Right? I don't care if it's Man City. Arsenal don't care if it's Man City. They can go and score a goal. They can go 1-0 up home at Etihad, right? I've told other fans, from other rival fans, we don't care. How many more times have they got to watch Arsenal? Right? How many more times? They don't care who they are anymore. They will come back, pick the ball up, go up the other end and score 1-2 goals. And they did it away at Man City when they had 11 men, when Arsenal had 11 men. And I think you're right. I think the frustration is because they just, with 11 men, they didn't have an answer. They didn't know what to do. I mean, it was like, I've seen a lot of cartoons today, and the cartoons are sometimes are laughable and they're not true. I've seen cartoons clips today which are wrong. Well, you've got Man City for like passing the ball side to side, back and back, side to side, shot over the bar, side to side, back to back, shot over the bar, back to back, side to. They didn't know what to do, mate. They did not know what to do, and they got totally frustrated. They now know they've come up against a side who can match them. People saying, "Oh, we're not on these levels." Listen, people, I don't care about the 4s. I don't care that you won the treble. I couldn't care less, right? That's parked in a bus. Like parked in a bus, excuse the pun. But I don't care about it. I don't care what you've done last season. I don't care what you've done the season before. Right now, I'm not having it. I'm not having it. Ireland FC at the minute, I'm telling you, this team. that was a bit of a dig. So, obviously don't mean that.
We'll get on to Haaland in a bit, but I want to stay on Bernardo Silva. Bernardo Silva made some remarks after the game, basically saying that Arsenal. What was his quotes? He was basically saying Arsenal didn't go to the win. Maybe the difference is that Liverpool have already won the Premier League. Arsenal haven't. I mean, you're wrong there, but I see what you mean. I see what you're doing. That Liverpool have won the Champions League. Arsenal haven't. Yes, that's a fact. Liverpool always faced us face to face to try and win the game. So from this perspective, the games against Arsenal haven't been like the ones we've had against Liverpool. So yes, maybe a different rivalry. He did acknowledge that it was a rivalry, but which people have coincidentally missed out on a lot of the mean posts they've been posting up. But what do you make for his comments? Do you feel like he was just frustrated at the end of the game that Arsenal defensively they couldn't break down until the last minute of the game?
Yeah. I mean, they all were, wasn't they? They all wasn't. I mean, look, people have been using the word rattled. Whether they're going back in their training there, they're sitting down and they'll go again, Man City, because they're a top football side, right? Mm-hmm. And they'll go next week and they'll go again and they'll re-elevate and they'll get straight and they'll go again and they'll push to try and win the title, and they may even be possibly favourites. Yeah, who knows, right? But mate, I've never seen Man City fans talk so much and moan so much and cry so much. Have you in a game? Have you ever seen them this rattled? Have you ever seen them the Man City fans like this? When they played against Liverpool, they've rattled, mate. I don't care.
it was only 2 seasons ago where we lost to Man City and they were slapping Zinchenko around the head as like a little jokey thing. Like they weren't taking us seriously. So I'm happy that Man City have come out afterwards and have got a lot to say, because they usually don't have anything to say, because usually they're cool, calm and collected, just like their manager. But we saw Pep kicking the bench. We saw a frustrated Haaland. We saw a frustrated and heard from a frustrated Bernardo Silva. So I do think like we've got under their skin.
Mate,
but it's going to be a long season. That's what I will say. It's going to be a long season, so we have to keep up our end of the stick and be consistent and win these games, and hopefully we see City at some point in the season.
But I tell you what, there's like we all know how good a side City are.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but and we have got great respect for how good they are. But I've lost a massive amount of respect for them regarding as a team, as a people, simply because of the way they acted in that game. They just the humidity, the sign of a great side. And it's not only a side of like a team that's good. Do you know what I mean? It's a sign. It's a team. You've got to be sort of, Haaland was talking about humble. We'll get onto Haaland, right? We'll get onto him, right? But this team, Manchester City, after this game, during the game, were like crying, doing things off the pitch. After the game, they was an absolute disgrace, and it's just people saying they're not rattled. They're fucking. I've watched football. Look, they are rattled. They know there's someone coming. Look, you're absolutely right, mate. It's a long season, right? But look, they've had it their own way for a long while now, Man City, right? And I think they're like, it seems to me they're getting a little bit too good. They should be the ones looking at having a little bit of humidity, a little bit, being a little bit humble, because their way they acted, in that game at home was absolute disgrace.
Mm-hmm.
Was an absolute disgrace the way they acted and way they come out after the game.
Did you understand Haaland's comments though?
Which ones?
The comments. Sorry, regards to Haaland now.
Yeah.
Haaland, like he said after the game to Mikel Arteta, stay humble, huh? And then tapped him on the back.
What
in the most patronising, unhumble way. I didn't understand his comments.
I don't know what it means.
Well, I didn't understand it. I didn't understand where it's coming from. Is it an inside thing? Has someone said that he used to be humble and now they're saying he's not humble anymore? So
do you know what it is?
He's having a little dig. Like, I didn't get it. Get it.
No, the bloke ain't got a full deck. Great player, great goal scorer, but he hasn't got it up here. He's a bit dim, right? He comes across a bit dim. He looks dim, and I think he is dim, right? And I think he's gone up to Arteta. He's gone, stay humble, because in his warped mind, right, he thinks that they've done something good. They think they've done something good. He's because of that equaliser in the 98th minute, which was a lucky goal. Let's face it, it was a lucky goal. There was a scramble in the box and just open. It bounced around and it went in off John Stones, right? He's saying to Mikel Arteta, be humble, because of the fact that, look what we done. So you were winning 2-1 and now we've come back. We scored. And he's not actually thinking of the whole picture where Arteta could have turned around. He's not gone. Who's our manager? Hold on a minute, mate. You were shit. You scored a goal, but you were shit.
He went to, and he turned around and refrained from it. I think Gabby Jesus got in his face and asked him, what are you talking about?
He could have said that. He could have said, well, where was you? You scored your goal. Well done, son. What did you do the whole game? We was in your pocket. We had 10 men. You did nothing, mate.
Yeah, that's the kind of thing that's going to antagonise Haaland. And
but he won't. Yeah,
he'd be if you think he was ready for us at the Etihad, you better believe that if Arteta says that to him, he's going to have it written on his wall in front of him, ready for that just one game at the Emirates. He's going to be ready.
Who will say? Who will be that? Who will run that?
Haaland. Will take that. Will take that. What Arteta says and use that as some sort of motivation.
That's fair. Right, but I'll tell you now.
Arteta weren't going to give him the pleasure of reacting.
No, definitely.
Which is what he wanted. He wanted to rise out of Arteta, and he went, Gabby, come on, let's go.
I'll tell you now. We're ready for him. We're ready for him in February. I can't
Gabriel's comments.
I can't wait till we get him to the Emirates. I can't wait till we get him at the Emirates. And look, while we're on the subject of Haaland, as I say, I don't know what that humble thing was about. It was gibberish. I don't really know what it meant. It didn't make no sense. It's dim. What was he coming out and saying? Oh, we just scored. We just scored against you. We couldn't do nothing against you for 45 minutes with 10 men, and we scored. What is this? If he's like saying, "Look, I told you we was better than you." Do you know what I mean? That type of you stay where you are. You stay in your box. Where I'm not having it. You know me, mate. I'm not having it. I'm not having this City loving anymore.
Do you think that's what it was? Do you think that was what it was? The stay humble was you got out of your box, get back in it.
I think it was that because we was 2-1 up, and because they scored and got 2-2 in his head. Well, we're better than you now. You thought you was because you was winning 2-1, right? Because you was winning 2-1. We've scored. See, we told you we come as if they've won the game, and that's what I'm saying to you, like City fans, Man City fans, you're celebrating the draw, and all that humble quote that come out from him. That's just another way of saying, "Well, look what we've done. Stay humble, Mikel Arteta." And it's like, no. Can we stop this narrative of like about Arsenal? We've gone there from 20 minutes onwards. We've done a masterclass, in my opinion, for the whole of that. And look, this ain't just me. I've seen it from a lot of people saying the same thing. After 20 minutes, Arsenal were the better team. Arsenal were the better team, and then with 10 men, we had to do what we had to do, and we played a different way. Yeah, we could have scored. We could have scored. We could have had. It could have been 3-1 at half time. We had chances. I can't remember them having a chance apart from the goal. To be fair. And then in the second half, when you would have thought that they would, push on, they just did have no ideas. They didn't know what to do. It was. If I was a Man City fan, I'd be embarrassed looking at that.
The first 20 minutes with their goal as well, I was worried. When they scored that goal in the 9th minute, I was worried. I was like, "Oh no, what has happened?" And it was for me, it was squeaky bum time because they piled on the pressure after that as well. But then we started to get a foothold back in the game. Once Calafiori scored that goal, the game flipped on its head completely. And we took it to them. Literally minutes before that, Gabriel just missed over a similar way to what he then scored just before half time. And it was a good end to the half. But the second half, it's first and foremost the sending off, Steve. The first yellow card from Trossard, a yellow card. And the second one, what was your take on the second yellow card?
When I first see it, I thought you idiot. I thought you idiot.
Yeah.
I thought you twat. I thought, what have you? You're just a fucking idiot.
Especially after the Rice situation.
Yeah. Look, it's again. I said in the Rice thing. Look. We could go into like, look, the rules are bullshit, right? The rules are bullshit, right? Players shouldn't be getting second yellows for kicking the ball away, right? That's firstly, that's a fact. But look, the fact is, it is the law. You're not supposed to do it. So Trossard did it. We did it last week. Got a player sent off. He's gone and done it again, and he's got sent off. So in my eyes, mate, he had to go. He had to go. The only argument of him not going, which again, you can't really prove, So it's not like I can sit here and say, oh, he shouldn't have been sent off. Yes, he should have been sent off. But if there's an argument, the fact that, and I haven't looked at this enough to, to sort of come to a conclusion whether a yes or a no, is that there's a lot of people saying that he blew his whistle after he kicked it. Now, if that's the case, then that's a different thing. But I haven't looked at it. I haven't really seen it. The fact is, it happened, and there was no point going back and having a look anyway because it was done. Do you know what I mean? But if he's kicked it away and he's heard the whistle before, the big thing is, when did he blow the whistle?
Do you think there's anything in the fact that he was the initial foul, which he got a foul from, which was a Bernardo Silva, the foul on Bernardo Silva, and then the kick? Do you feel there could be an argument for the referees seeing both of those together and gone, look, first of all the foul, and then you followed that up by kicking the ball away, mate, you've left me no option? Do you reckon it could be a culmination of both of them in that situation there as well?
I mean, who knows what this Michael Oliver thinks? I mean, it could be, mate. Yeah, it could be that's the way he's looked at it. I mean, did you think the first foul was another yellow? Was that another yellow?
No, I don't think the first foul was a yellow. You could deem it a foul. I can't.
There was a borderline. Was it a foul or not? Weren't it?
But I was thinking maybe it's a case that he's seen both of them together and gone, no, look, mate, you've left me no option. You're already on a yellow card.
Yeah.
Put in a foul, and literally a second later, you just kick the ball away. So that's what because I'm just trying to rationalise it and make it, just trying to put it in, like, just think, what has he sent him off for? Like, this is a big game. Like, we was here last season. We saw the Kovacic. Apparently, we don't know if that was his thinking on the Kovacic situation. That was a quote from Webb and not Michael Oliver himself. It was actually a quote from Webb. So Webb could have potentially thrown him under the bus, whether he said it to him in confidence.
But he probably knows the rules. It sounded like with Webb that, that was the narrative, like, that they was told. In these big games, don't ruin the flow of the game. Don't for these type of for like, even as a serious thing as like someone nearly breaking Odegaard's leg. Give them the benefit of the doubt for nearly breaking Odegaard's leg. So I mean, how ridiculous does that sound?
Yeah.
And then you're saying, and then you're having this game, which is arguably the biggest game of the season, and arguably not a title decider because it's too early, but between the two best sides in the Premier League, and you're sending him off for basically kicking the ball away. So, yeah, I mean, it could have been, mate. It could have been, but yeah. So I'm just more annoyed at I don't know. It's baffling me why the narrative is all towards Arsenal when the fact for me, there's just been a not. The fact is that Man City were lucky and they were poor and they couldn't beat us with 10 men and they did not look like scoring and they lacked ideas and in a way, like I've said for a couple of weeks now, I don't think they're as good as what people are making out from my eyes and watching them.
I would
go on, mate. Sorry,
go on. I wouldn't say so much it's necessarily City were that bad in the second half. I'd put it more down to Arsenal's rigid defending. Remember, there was a couple of opportunities that Man City got, but David Raya made some good saves. Other than that, Arsenal kept it so tight, so tight. We thought that we kept it tight in the Tottenham game, but against Man City, literally, Mikel Arteta is marshalling people around. You go there, Thomas, you go there. Get in tighter, be more compact. Do this, do this, do this. He was walking them through every single last step. He must have been drained by the end of that. Like, I thought we were excellent defensively, to the point where we don't want to see stats like what we saw with Kai Havertz and Jurrien Timber, although apparently I'm hearing that Jurrien Timbers is not the truth.
Yeah, it's right. No, it wasn't truth. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's part of that was the defensive work they did. Martinelli, again, another display where it wasn't attacking at his best, but defensively and as a team, he put in a shift. He put in a shift, and he was disciplined, and every Arsenal player was disciplined. Whether it was adding the dark art. Look, what I don't understand, I don't understand a little bit what you're saying as well. It's like, how comes the narrative is being spun on Arsenal?
Yeah,
that we parked the bus when Man United used to come to Arsenal. They knew they couldn't go toe to toe with us because of the way we played football. Man United were athletic. Yes, they had some great players in their team, but when he was talking about toe to toe, we would end up passing them off the pitch. They would be chasing shadows if we were going to do that. So what they had to break up the play. They had to break up the play. They had to put in someone like a Phil Neville next to a Park Ji-sung or a Darren Fletcher next to another defensive midfielder, and they just battled. They didn't play our game. In the end, we had to play their game, and we lost every single time. Now, when we go to Man City and try and do it, all of a sudden it's Polish football. It's parking the bus. It's the dark arts. It's wrong. It's wasting time. It's like
it's Arsenal. It's Arsenal, mate. It's culture. But look, mate, I a period of when I used to go Arsenal a lot, and part of that time was when Jose Mourinho was at Chelsea. Oh my God. I wondered what I was looking at. It was like this team had come. I used to go every Arsenal, never missed a game for 20 years at Highbury, first few years at the Emirates. Chelsea come with Mourinho, and I was like, what is this football? Who is this team? What are they doing? They're not even attacking. They're just sitting there in like banks of like 1-5, like 1-5, 1-5. It was like ridiculous. Do you know what I mean? And they used to get results against us. And I was like, wow, what's going on? We're used to like blowing teams away. And then you used to see revolutionary, master stroke. Oh, great
defensive
Mourinho.
Masterclass.
Defensive. And that was with 11 men. From minute one. Arsenal do it with 10 men, right? When they're basically the better team over the 90 minutes, and everyone wants to scrutinise Arsenal. This is what's annoying me, and I don't know whether they're like taking the piss, or they're trying to trigger, or they're just thick. It's one of them three. I don't know which one, but it's Look, we spoke about it on the show last night. Garth was on. Garth was Man United fan. He agreed that we did nothing wrong. And I just the thing is, the narrative's annoying me. I think City were poor. Do you know what I mean? City should have, they've come away from that game, I think, the worst side, but you would think afterwards that Arsenal did something wrong or something, or were the worst team, or lost the match when, and it's not just Man City fans. I mean, we seem to have like rattled every fan over the last few days. But I think because they know the new, there's a team on the block that could be taking over for the next few years. I'm not saying we will, but at the moment, there's only one team that's looking like dominating at this moment in time. Time will tell if we do. Do you know what I mean? No one knows. But look, when you look at Man City now, when you look at Arsenal now, when you look who's coming behind us, I know who I would be putting my money on.
I think the reason why, and I think what I'll say to you is, I don't think we as Arsenal fans now should be expecting or looking for the appreciation of what we're doing apart from other Arsenal fans, because the way it's gone, Arsenal went from eighth, to fifth, and in that season we came fifth. Arsenal should have probably come fourth, and Arsenal were ridiculed for not coming fourth. We were ridiculed for the 2-8 finishes and then the 5th. No one took us seriously. So then the seasons where Arsenal would have got praise from the rival fans because they felt like we were a potential threat but not actually a threat, is the season we should have come fourth, potentially third in that season after we came 5th. Yeah. So those people like the Villas, the Newcastles, who were never our rivals, feel like they had an opportunity to overtake us, and it got to a point where we just wasn't even a thing anymore. Man United also were similar in that season we came 5th. I think they end up overtaking us. So they're also hurt because they had an opportunity to have that rivalry, and now we just jumped ahead. So Liverpool weren't taking us seriously. They thought it was a one-season wonder, and the same with Man City. The following season, not only were we not a one-season wonder, we smoked Liverpool. They got blown away by us. Yeah. And now Man City now feel like we are a threat. Now, I'm not going to say that they're shaken, because we've seen this Man City side come from behind, look like the likes of Liverpool going to win it. They flick a switch, they turn cold, and they just chew through games. So, look, I do think people are taking us seriously now, which is why everyone's rattled. That's why I think everyone's rattled.
I've never
actually taking us seriously, and there's rival fans that are behind us that are worried that we could win the league, and Man City actually see us as a threat now.
Yeah. And I think this game. I mean, I think Arsenal. I mean, to be fair, when you talk to, when you talk to a lot of people, a lot of people, you have a good conversation with them. A lot of people are saying Arsenal are favourites. They think they'll win it. A lot of people, on who you hear, that you think that, if it could go one way or the other, if they was going to go and have a bet, they're saying that, look, this could be Arsenal's year, and especially there's a lot of people now saying it after this result, because I think, if teams didn't know before that Arsenal were title challengers, which they should have done anyway, I think this game, I mean, last year, you've already mentioned this game last year. We went there and the 0-0, but you still felt that City was going to win the league. You still felt that we was a little bit short or a little bit behind. You still felt maybe we were a little bit, could be a bit stronger in certain areas. But this season, it looks like, we're sort of, we can't be bullied by Man City anymore. We're not frightened of you anymore. Do you know what I mean? And I think that showed, like, right from the first minute, where Havertz just totally took Rodri out. I think that was like...
Yeah, Rodri was definitely trying to get him sent off, though. That was ridiculous. Yeah, like, Rodri stepped in his way as well.
But Garth was right, what he said last night. I mean, and look, there was a little bit about of, like, because we're old school, when Havertz did that, I was like, yes, that's it. Put it on him.
I was going to say... Before I go to this next comment, did you feel like the atmosphere felt a lot more intense than it usually does as well? It felt like a bit of a cauldron in there, didn't it?
It felt like an Arsenal-Man United game from the early 2000s. Yeah. And I've not had that feeling since then, really.
Yeah.
But it felt like that.
Yeah,
we had this Man United, Man City had Liverpool, weren't they, for a number of years. But that was all like, too nicey, Klopp saying, Pep's great. And then, players like sort of kissing each other's backsides. Do you know what I mean? All the time.
Yeah.
This is like, no, we just don't like you.
Yeah, Haaland doesn't like the fact that Gabriel and Saliba are a serious tough test.
Yeah,
he don't like it. He don't like it. He usually gets his own way, and he really don't like it.
Because of his size and his thing, he gets the best of most defenders. Let's get it right.
Yeah, but they love it.
But they love it.
They love it.
They love it. They love a ruck.
They do. They love a scrap, mate.
Saliba and Gabriel, right, go onto that football pitch every week, whether it's Haaland or not, right, and especially Gabriel, and he wants a row.
Yeah.
Right, he wants to fight.
Yeah.
Right? Ben White goes on there. He wants to fight. You see him in the tunnel. They're like, I'm going to have you today. Yeah. Havertz goes on there. He's the same. You know, people sort of don't think of him like that. But people who don't know, he's the type of player who goes out and says, I don't care who you are, but I will put you in the stands. And that he's got no respect for Rodri. Do you know what I mean? Obviously, he has respect as a player after the game. When he's on that football pitch, he's like, I ain't got no respect for you. You're not my mate. It's like when I used to play. There used to be a guy, and I used to think he's their top man. Right? First thing I used to do was hit him one. And that's what he used to do in the old. And that's what Havertz said. He's got the strength. Gabriel, so many of us, mate, all of them, haven't they? You know, they're all massive. Let me see the size of Arsenal. They're massive. They're absolutely huge. Absolutely huge. And Ireland's used to like this bullying people every week. And every time he plays against, and I think it's getting to him. I don't think he likes being bullied. And he tries to bully back because of his size, and he can. But it's like they will just hit him back. And we'll see you in February, Mr. Erling Haaland.
Yeah, I think this is one of the first games in a while where it was like, because the last two or three games we've played, Haaland's been really non-existent. He hasn't had any shots on goal in either of those games. It did feel like he was up for it a little bit more. He knew it was coming, maybe.
What do you think about? What do you think, though, kids? Do you know what I mean? I mean, I've lost a lot of respect for him. Do you know what I mean? I mean, I'm all for a player from an opposition getting stuck in. Do you know what I mean? I used to play like that. I've been brought up in an era where that was just a thing you used to do. You used to hit them. They used to hit you. So that's sort of embedded in me. It's embedded in my psyche. I don't mind it. I don't mind if our players get it. But there draws a line where you're telling a 17-year-old to go and fuck yourself, right? And you're throwing a ball at Gabriel's back of the head and then running off like a baby.
Yeah,
these things. I know a lot of people. These things think they're funny, and it don't wind them up, and that's fair play, right? But for me, right, I don't like that.
Yeah,
I don't like it, and I think Arsenal will remember that in February.
Yeah, well, they should do. They should use all of these as motivation. Look, the words, I'll get over. Yeah. Look. Not being fair, I'll get onto Lewis Kelly in a second. Yeah. Words, no, fine. He can say what he wants. It just, for me, it shows that we've got under his skin. Like Man City in previous years, I've seen them walk off the pitch. They're laughing, they're joking. They came off that pitch. At first, they were relieved and happy and celebrating. They got the equaliser the last minute, as you would be. Last minute goals are different.
I don't mind that. I don't mind that.
But afterwards, it was in your face, pointing fingers. We've got a lot to say. They were the only ones after the games that were doing the talking. I ain't heard from Arsenal players talking about that game, except for in response to what the Man City players have said. Yeah. So the words, they can say what they want. They can say what they want. It's that I don't like the throwing the ball at the back of Gabriel's head. And Ian Wright was right. It's cowardly.
He's a coward. He is a coward, though.
You done that as a little ha ha ha. It was a childish thing to do, and throwing the ball at someone's head is just weak, mate. Come on, man. Come on. That's where I lost a little bit of respect for Haaland, in throwing the ball at someone's head when they're not watching. Like throwing the ball at someone's head,
back in the room,
kicking the ball when someone's injured, kicking the ball at them when they're on the floor. I hate that sort of stuff. It's muggy. It's muggy.
See, people were comparing it to like, Ben White like kicked the ball at McGinn. That's totally different. That was totally different.
No, that was in retaliation.
Yeah, he fronted him up. McGinn looked at him and Ben smashed it at him, right, as if to say, take that. And he just stood there just to say, what are you going to do now? Right? Ireland, he legged it. He ran. And he done. What was even worse, the fact that he had his back to him and Gabriel had his shirt over his head. I mean,
yeah, no, I'm pretty sure that John McGinn was a retaliation. So John McGinn kicked the ball at someone else. I'm pretty sure of it.
He did.
And then when John McGinn went down, Ben White booted the ball at him and then stood in his face. Like it was slightly different.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure. I can't remember what it was, but the what we can't.
It might have been Saliba or someone.
Yeah, it was Saliba. It was Saliba.
Yeah.
I'm just trying now, but what we go to the incident, because it would be fair to not talk about an incident which Manchester City fans are very unhappy about, where Arsenal took a free kick, the referee called Kyle Walker over, and then after that situation didn't give enough time to get back into position to set up. Since then, Keith Hackett has come out and he has claimed that it's the basic rules for a referee to wait for the player to get back into position. What was your take on the whole situation? By the way, it was John McGinn that kicked the ball at Ben White. So then, no, it's John McGinn that kicked the ball at Saliba. So then Ben White kicked the ball at John McGinn. It's completely different. This is what I mean. When it's a situation where we're saying, what about this? Someone pull out some bit of footage or talk about something in the hope that you don't remember how it went down.
And Ben White didn't run away like a crybaby and try and hide.
No, he stood up in his face.
Well, Ben White's going to stand up and face against anybody. You don't care who you are. So,
So here is the incident, as you can see there. That was a foul on Thomas Partey. I think Kyle Walker was called over, and then the free kick was taken without Kyle Walker being able to get back into position. As an Arsenal fan, would you be upset about that situation? What's your take on it?
I think probably a bit of both. I mean, look. First of all, I'm not too sure what the rules are, but I don't think he has to wait for him to get back, does he?
Apparently so.
Okay, he does. Well, he didn't, but then again, saying that, I mean, it wasn't Martinelli who scored the goal, was it? Do you know what I mean? I mean, there's still a long way to go before the ball went in the net. I mean, Calafiori scored a weldy off of it. It's not like Martinelli was like running in on goal and scored. It was, I mean, and Walker's very quick. I mean, he was like, it wasn't like he couldn't have been that far back, because he was in literally a couple of seconds, he was facing up to Martinelli. So I mean, what about when you send a player off for a free kick? They don't stop the game and wait for him, do they? They go and sit and let him wait over there for 30 seconds. And then they go, yeah, come on, you can come back now.
Look, there's a few things. If it's a situation of how it's put out very black and white, I'd be unhappy. I honestly do feel like, would I be unhappy in this situation? Yeah, I'd be fuming. But I'm sorry, look where the referee is there. Yeah.
Look where Martinelli is.
And look where the referee is, and look where Kyle Walker is.
Yeah.
How is it that Kyle Walker's still here, but the referee's all the way back here? How quickly was Kyle Walker trying to get back into position? Referee is all the way up here. Referee's all the way up here. Yeah.
Is this the free kick? Walker,
this is where Thomas Partey got fouled for the free kick. Yeah. Okay. So the referee, look where the referee is, and look where Kyle Walker is down here. Yeah. By the time that free kick is taken, Kyle Walker is about 4 yards from where he was. He's not even gone. He's barely even gone past the different colours of the stripes, and look how far down the referee is from his one. Quite a considerable bit further. I didn't see the referee running. Look. Would I be unhappy in this situation if I was a Man City fan? Yes, I would. But I'm questioning how quickly Kyle Walker was actually trying to get back.
Yeah. Well, Pep was asked about this, wasn't he?
Yeah.
And he said, "Well, what do you think about what Kyle Walker said in the free kick and all that?" He said, "Do you think that what Kyle said was right?" And he went, "Yes and no." He said, "Kyle is right." He said, "From what I can understand, you have to wait. I think you are." He said something about that. He should have waited for him to get back into the position.
Yeah.
But he said at the same time, he said Cole did a lot of things wrong. He didn't do what he should have done. So yeah, Kyle was right, but yeah, and I'm pretty sure he said that Kyle, was, I don't remember what the exact words now work is, but it was the fact that he basically didn't do his job properly, sort of thing. Do you know what I mean, on them lines? So
yeah,
he sort of, and I rated Pep for that, and I thought that's fair, and that's fair, because I would like to have seen where Walker was when the free kick was taken, how far away he was from Martinelli and where Martinelli was, because to me, like, he was right next to Martinelli very quickly. And Martinelli, I know Walker's quick, but so is Martinelli. And
look, I want to show this, because like I do feel like a lot has been made out of it, but so John Stones is holding the line at this point here. Look where John Stones is standing. Yeah,
with his arms out.
John Stones is holding the line. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Now, or is that Diaz? Either or. Is he telling Kyle Walker to get over to cover Martinelli? Is he telling him to hold this line where he is? Like,
he's not, is he? Walker? He's not doing his job there, is he?
He's not doing his job, and I feel like it's easy to point and say the referee just didn't wait until. But I'm watching this clip right now over and over again, and I'm like, there is no urgency from the defender to get into the position. There's
I know you can't put the clip up, but because we get taken down.
Yeah, I've been taken down. I've got warnings on my other accounts. I can't even risk it. I'm going to put it into the private chat, Steve. But look at it from your side.
But when you
look at it from your side, because so watch it from where it goes. So it will take it back to where Calafiori scores, and then past that you get to see it all. The whole thing, you get to see. There's no urgency from Kyle Walker. There's so little urgency from Kyle Walker to get back into the position. It just makes me feel like the referee's gone. Go then, go. Like I don't get it. I don't get it. I get it, but I don't get the outrage to the extent where it's like Man City have been completely hard done by.
No. Yeah, I've seen it. So yeah, exactly.
Like there's no urgency from Kyle Walker to get back.
No, I think
he's
that's probably what
back.
I think that's what Pep's probably thought. He's probably thought like, well, there's really, even if you should have, whether it was taken, you should have got back there or not, or he waited to get you in position.
Yeah.
Pep said, obviously felt somewhere that he's not done what he should have done. So.
Yeah.
And obviously, you've hit the nail on the head. Then, that's where it is. As I say, my take on it was that it wasn't like Martinelli was clear on goal, was it, or anything? Because it wasn't straight away. Walker was face to face with him, and then and then Martinelli sort of like twisted one way, but they was facing each other. It wasn't like he runs to the byline, got across it, and then we scored. Mm-hmm. When Martinelli had the ball, it was like. Then there was like a sort of battle between the two. Yeah. And Martinelli just done a few little that way, pushed it through to Calafiori, and then he buried him.
Yeah, but what I will say is if the referee is meant to, after calling the player back, if the referee is meant to wait until the player gets into the position, then I can completely understand why there's Man City fans are upset and the Man City players are upset. But I stand by what I say. There's a lack of urgency from Kyle Walker to getting back into position. He didn't even move out to the right. He strolled back central. Like I would be at the same time. I'd be fuming that the referee didn't wait for Kyle Walker to get back in. I'll be fuming at the body positioning and the lack of urgency from Kyle Walker as well. Like he's been there around long enough to know that no one's waiting for you to get into the exact position you need to get into to mark a player. Like, come on, man. When you get to free kick, you can take a free kick. When you get a corner, you can take a corner. Like, the referee has a word with players in the box when they're moving around and stuff like that. As soon as that whistle's blown, you have to be prepared. Like, that's simple as. It's a box, like a boxer turning his back on. If you get punched in the back of the head, is it right for the boxer to punch him in the back of the head? No, it's not. But you left yourself unguarded. So it's just what it is, man. It's what it is. Like, I can't bother to hear no whinging from City fans about it.
And there's been a lot of whinging, isn't there?
There's been a lot of whinging.
All I've seen is like I've been working today, so I've had to go on Twitter quite a bit and X, and oh my god. Do you know what I mean? It's like
the funniest thing is it's the other fans which I don't understand why they're getting involved. Tottenham fans getting involved in all sorts of nonsense. Liverpool fans getting involved in it. I saw the most cringy Liverpool tweet earlier on, basically saying, "Oh, they think you're their rivals. It's embarrassing when Tottenham are their rivals. It's Manchester City and Liverpool are rivals." When was the last time Liverpool title race?
Yeah, we don't want to know these.
When were you last in it? You was in it last season, huh? You was in it last season. The moment you got your asses handed to you, you fell off. You fell off.
That was the worst probably rivalry in Premier League history. That Liverpool Man City rivalry. It was fucking bored me to tears. It was like I was fed up with like the I mean the only way I can best put it is I was fed up with the arse kissing. Of Man City kissing Liverpool's like, oh, they're great where they play. Oh yeah, Klopp's so good. And Liverpool, we go to them. We have great respect for them, and shaky hands, kissy, arsey, wipey. Bollocks to all that, man. Fucking want a bit of what we see on Sunday. Arsenal, we come and kick your ass. We ain't going to shake your hand. Do you know what I mean? We'll after 3 seconds, Havertz to take your, one of the best player in Premier League.
I stand by it. Rodri played his part in that. Rodri played his part in that.
He tried to get him sent off.
Rodri stepped into Havertz. Rodri stepped into Havertz. Havertz was like, "You want to step into me, mate? Add that. Add that. Have that."
You ain't get. He's like, as if to say, like, well, I'm not. Havertz was like, "I'm not getting out of your way."
Yeah, do you know what I mean? He weren't having it.
But I think they talk about this. I think they talk. Arsenal are like, you can't look. Let's just get it straight. Don't be silly. Don't think you can get the better of Arsenal when you come to physical, because you can't. I don't think there's a team in the Premier League who can stand up to Arsenal physically. So just leave it, and have an easy day at the office. Play your football. Don't try and battle us because we'll just rip you to pieces.
We'll see you in February. Steve, before we go, because we've spent an hour on the Man City game, I wanted to speak to you about the Champions League format. A draw against Atalanta, a very difficult game at first. There wasn't really much left to be desired. One of the best saves we'll probably see this season from David Raya, absolutely outstanding double save. But is this new format a bit of a worry for you? Arsenal obviously have to get in the top 8 to get through, and they're to be in the top 20 something to be in the final 16. But should there be a cause for concern? Because if you look at the rest of the games, it's PSG at home next. If they've got Girona, but I think that one's away from home. There's some really difficult games in this group. In any normal group, it'd be a group of death.
No, there is a very good. It is a very difficult group of games that we got, and the Atlanta one again, another game that we've been slagged off and put down for getting a 0-0 when Man City's draw against Inter at home was a masterclass. Do you know what I mean? The fucking bullshit these people. I'm sorry, I keep swearing a lot today, but the narrative that goes against the love for Man City is getting a little bit annoying there. Although we've got some very good Man City friends, and they ain't all like, don't get me wrong, there's a few that I love. But look, I mean, I think we said a little while ago, we're not too sure because it's new, so, and we don't know how it's going to work out. But look, it's more games. We've got to play eight games where normally we would be playing 6. In sort of like a league thing. So there's 2 extra games there. There's a possibility that there's going to be another extra game if we don't finish in the top 8, because then you go into like a knockout between 8 and 16, I think it is, isn't it?
Yeah,
and then they play each other. So you could, we could be in that group. I mean, it wouldn't be. I don't think it'd be an absolute disaster if we was in that group. So that's 9 games. So you're looking at possibly 3 extra games. So 3 extra games. Yeah, I don't think it's. I don't. I think I said the other week. I think if it gives us a chance towards the end of the group that we can play Nenweri and Skelly, and we can get Sterling on the pitch in a few games and things like that. I think it can be a good thing. Look, it's there. We got to get on with it. The question is, if people goes down with injuries, will we have like a strong enough squad sort of halfway through the season? But I think that you can say that about any team. Do you know what I mean? If they go down with injuries, look, I think we've had a great start to the season, mate. To be honest with you, we've had some very hard fixtures. We've played Atlanta away, we played Man City away, we've played Villa away, and we've played Tottenham away, and we're 2 points off the top of the league. And we, I think it won't be long now. Some fantastic news today. I heard that, Martin Odegaard could be back as soon as possibly a couple of weeks, maybe 3 weeks. So that's that's good news. Mourinho is going to start training on the grass next week. So yeah, I think once they're back, if we can keep it fit, I think it's good, mate. I'm looking forward to it. Do you know what I mean? I love the bit of Champions League. I'm massively looking forward to Tuesday's game against PSG. Yeah. What do you think? I think like if it gives us a chance to see a lot of our players. I mean, we're all football fans. We love watching games. We love watching our own team. So the more games, the merrier. As long as it don't affect, probably our Premier League chances. Because at the end of the day, look, that's our bread and butter. Do you know what I mean? That's your main kiddie. If other competitions come along, League Cups, FA Cups, great. That's they're bonuses. But that's our main goal. But yeah, I think we should get top 8. I think we should get there. If we don't, 3 extra games, I think we can manage it, mate. What do you think?
So far, I can't stand the new format. I hate it. But I don't like change.
What don't you like about it? I don't like the change.
I don't like the. I don't like our fixture list. Like, the better teams we seem to have at home, and the lesser teams ones, where they're not lesser teams, they're away from home. Like,
see, Girona and Mugs, are they? Girona's a tough game.
Girona, they're well tough games. Like, honestly, there's zero
Monaco.
This is all done because of the Super League, and I'm not a fan. I'm so not a fan.
Yeah.
Adding an extra 3 games for in a situation where I don't necessarily think we're going to get to see how like the youngsters like we want to. I feel like those 3 games are going to end up being pretty important games to see us through. But then again, if you want to win a Champions League, you've got to play the best teams anyway. But you don't usually have to play 5 of the best teams before you've even got to the group stage. Like it's a slog, mate. It's a slog. Usually you get you're the other decent team, you've got a tough team, and then you've got two teams which you should be beating. And then by the time you get to the final two games, hopefully you're already through. You get to play a second string team, and in the final game you get to play your youngsters, and it doesn't matter if you lose it. I don't see the point where we could potentially lose a game and it's okay.
Do you think this is? Do you think now, since football began, well, the Premier League is always the hardest to win, but as far as Europe's gone, like going back sort of our days and even before, do you think now this is the hardest to win regarding the European culture? Because I agree.
It's well hard, honestly.
This is well. If you come out top of this and lift the trophy at the end of this, whoever that team is. Big up to you, man.
Look, Man City. Like Man City have played Inter Milan. Now we've got to play Inter Milan. My head is spinning. I can't even work out how it works. It doesn't make sense to me. So I'm looking forward to seeing us up against some great teams. But I usually like the caveat of playing those great teams that I play someone
knockouts
from Moscow or from Poland or a wild card that's got in. But that is no more. It remains to be seen.
I suppose everybody's in the same boat.
Yeah, but look, if we don't get in the top 8, I just hope we ain't in a situation where someone else who's one of the bigger clubs is at the other end of that 16, and it's 8 versus 16. And it could be curtains already.
We'll probably win it, and Real Madrid will finish 8th. Right, we're playing, but we're not playing Real Madrid.
Well, I hope not.
I think that's how it works. First,
it is.
Plays 8th, second plays 7th. It goes like that, and it'll go on position, and you'll play your lowest next, type of thing.
Yeah.
But
Arsenal got Bolton Wanderers tomorrow. This was the team that last faced Bolton in the League Cup. Andreas Sharvin, Park Chu-young, Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain, Benny Yoon, Coquelin, Nico Uranis, Thomas Vermaelen, Miguel, who eventually went to Leicester, Scolacci, Frimpong, and Fabianski. Times have changed since 2011, Steve. Be good to see some of the youngsters potentially play tomorrow. Some of the fringe players. Quick score prediction.
I think whatever team we put out, it's at home, isn't it? So whatever team we put out, we should be getting through Bolton, shouldn't we? No matter what. But I think you'll see a pretty strong team out. I don't know. The goalkeeper's a bit of a weird situation. I don't know who will be in goal. I suppose Reyes picked up a knock, didn't he? So apparently. And the only other goalkeeper we've got is a 16-year-old, isn't it? Or an 18-year-old. So, but it'd be good to see Sterling get a game. Probably Jesus, Wayne Mary, Lewis Skelly, Heaven, these type of people. Califoria probably get a start. Kior, this type of thing. Midfield, give Havertz a rest, give Saka a rest. Give some of these fringe players a crack. We should win whoever we put out. Really,
we should win tomorrow. Be nice to see Ethan Wanyeri and Lewis Skelly. Up against a League One team, you should be able to rotate some of your squad. That is all we have time for, people. Thank you for joining us today for Steve's therapy session about the Battle of the Etihad. I think he's got it out of his system now.
I'm good now. I'm good.
He's good. Thank you for everyone who's watching. If you are new to the show, press that like and subscribe button. Appreciate your support. If you are a regular and you're watching on Twitter, press that like and that retweet. If you are a regular and you're watching on YouTube, press that like and press that share button. Press the copy button. It all counts and hopefully gets us to the top page on YouTube as well. Thank you for joining us today, Steve.
Cheers, mate. Pleasure as always.
All right. Peace out, people. Stay safe and wash your hands.